Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that the show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Once again?
For the very first time. You never know. We're back. Well, we've been recording on the 360 cams, but Chip has I've been
had some technical
negligent.
difficulties. Well, I would just say technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties and bandwidth difficulties. So we're here.
Getting throttled? I'm just kidding.
Oh, sore subject. That might be another podcast that we do. 2018. Should we predict year of the cryptocurrency, Cerny?
You know what? I've been hearing a lot of that.
It happened in 2017, including some of the very own Chip and Cern regulars.
Guests, I would say.
Guests. You know them as Stat Boy Dana.
Joe Smells.
And that's the other one.
And Joe. And Tony is actually in the crypto game as well.
Tony's a seaman lover.
Yes. And I think the first...
Stat Boy.
He was the first. Stat Boy was the first. At least, admittedly, the first.
Yeah. Now, my interest is piqued.
It is.
I have not taken the plunge to... And I know plenty
it's
of
like,
other folks that have.
This is how I kind of see it. It's kind of stupid, but it's like the Apple. I don't know who bid it. It was Adam or Eve. I haven't really read the Bible.
Okay.
But that apple.
Do
I take a bite of the fucking
the snake
cryptocurrency?
told him not to.
Yeah. But do I take that bite? Do we take the bite
Wow,
and invest? Do we?
Now,
I've been toying with
we're
that.
not talking... I'll speak for myself. I don't have, 25K or whatever to throw in.
Oh, I co-sign that.
Yeah, to go in on cryptos. So I think Joe and Dana are in, as far as we know. What they told us is a couple $100, which is how I would play it as well. So Cerny is going to go over sort of what the Crypto 101 is, and we have some more info up on that, and then sort of what our take is on it, and maybe
our very limited take and
now we're
ignorant views.
This is of people who are not, and if you want to learn about cryptocurrencies, there's
podcasts,
100 podcasts that are better than ours.
Yes,
and if you want to be entertained, there's 1,000 more that's better than ours.
So if you want to be semi-informed and semi-entertained, just stay right here.
Yeah. If you... yeah. Take it away, Cerny. I'm sorry. We'll stop berating ourselves.
There we go. So this is like a general view of what is cryptocurrency. I'm going to read the definition. And I'm sure like 90% of the people that even listen to us, all 9 of them, 9 out of 10 are probably like, no shit. But anyway, a cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that uses cryptography for security. A cryptocurrency is difficult to counterfeit because of this security feature. A defining feature of a cryptocurrency, and arguably its most enduring allure, is its organic nature. It is not issued by any central authority, rendering it theoretically immune to government interference or manipulation.
So, I think from what I was reading off one blog post...
Now, we're talking about cryptocurrency. The very first and obviously leader of the pack is Bitcoin.
So it seems that Bitcoin kind of came around in 2008 when that big financial
8 or 9, I think,
crisis came out, and everyone sort of realized, like, well, maybe the stock market or whatever isn't as great as everyone thinks it is. So there's this other currency that comes out, and
the dollar was weak, and there's all sorts of
totally
gateway or whatever you want to call it.
So I think, and of course when it started it was like $1 or $2 or something, and now it's 14,000. So I think you're seeing a lot of articles, and it's getting a lot of heat now because there's someone that, if you would have been on the early end and would have said, I'm going to take a huge leap of faith and dump $10,000 US dollars into
Crypto.
Bitcoin when it was like $2.50 for one Bitcoin, and you would have bought that, you would be a millionaire right now, right?
I've seen a lot of. You said that one story, right? There's people that got it for like Christmas or whatever.
Oh,
they
yeah.
forgot the fucking password, and it's like
I know.
$1 million or whatever. It's like, oh my.
Yeah. So there's
Which is a thing. I didn't think about it because somebody at work's like, well, how is that even possible? It's got to be somewhere. But because of the cryptic nature of the,
right.
it's not like, Chip and CERN as the username and,
Yeah. It's a
Kick-Ass Podcast
Right.
is the password. It's like, 875 dash question mark.
I gotta change my passwords now. Sorry. Yeah. So, and again, I've never done a Bitcoin transaction or anything, but I think there's a cryptocurrency. There's a sort of password essentially,
like
or one-time key.
Yeah.
Like remember how you used to get the software keys
Yes.
for your Microsoft Office.
Yes.
Except there wasn't, one floating around that would work for it all when I would pirate it off Kazaa. But
I didn't remember those days. No,
but so essentially it's that you have to match it up and have
just
to match
ask
it with
Jeeves.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I remember just Googling.
I think it was Ask Jeeves back in the day, high school day. I don't think Google.
I know. How? Yeah. AOL or something.
I think it was that Yahoo? Let's ask your wife real quick.
Yeah.
Was Ask Jeeves Yahoo?
It was his own search engine. Rip.
Rip.
So essentially, you need to be on an exchange, which I think a big exchange is Coinbase.
Yes. Now, didn't Bitcoin come out with like BitCash or something?
Something, and I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little confused, but I do see how. I see how it would be fun if you had $200 or $300 to throw it in there.
Oh yeah, some liquid.
Because it's so volatile. Like Dana's in, and Joe's in, and they go, well, one ironic thing, they go, oh, we're holding long term. But then they're watching it every day, and they're like, yesterday it gained 20%. I'm like, you're not a long-term investor if you're watching the daily.
That's day trader
change.
shit.
Like, it's essentially, for some, not Bitcoin, but for some of these really small ones, you're essentially trading penny stocks and hoping one of them hits, is my sort of general take on it. From an investment standpoint, and I'm not a financial advisor, that probably goes without saying, but I'm just going to say it again. It's extremely volatile and extremely risky. It's not worth, in my opinion, a substantial investment unless you have, say, how much, if I literally lost this amount of money, that you would be okay with.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast trying to get myself learned before I came over here. And there was one guy one guy was giving advice, and let me know if this is sage advice. He was talking about just cryptocurrencies in general, which was like, and now there's more. Bitcoin, Litecoin, was a Ripple. And he was talking about, now I was reading reports on people taking out mortgages and loans to get into the cryptocurrency.
Maxing your credit card out or something.
And I advise you not to do that because it's just not a very smart thing to do. And that was his sage advice.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully.
And that's what we heard for about 8 seconds before we started talking again.
Hopefully that's advice to you. But for some, it's not. The same way as you would say you wouldn't take out your life savings or withdraw your money out of your account and put it on one hand of blackjack.
I guess people know
like
that.
Yes.
One of the downfalls of cryptocurrency, because it's anonymous, transactions make it well suited for hosts of nefarious activities.
Oh.
Money laundering, tax evasion. I heard terrorist activities.
Yeah, ISIS and shit.
Mob, I believe the mob.
Sure, I could see them getting into that.
So that's a little iffy because at some point, wasn't it South Korea just put some regulations on it, didn't they not?
Yeah, that's another thing too. So it doesn't have any regulations on it. So
yeah, so the SEC doesn't deal.
They're not going to touch it. I mean, essentially, if you made $1 million and you try to withdraw it out of one of these trading apps, Coinbase or whatever,
Yeah.
they could block it.
Yeah.
And nothing, and you're fucked. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Didn't I hate to put him on blast here, but Dana, remember we asked him about he was going to cash out, and he says, "I still have to figure that out." And I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're holding, which I could see this definitely being a future world. Now I say world currency because the inflation rates that you're getting at other parts of the world, where $1 is worth 400,000 African, shekels or whatever the fuck they're using. Like,
wasn't it Zimbabwe?
Yeah,
was pretty bad. Whatever.
It's a billion. A dollar is a 7 billion of whatever, and it's like, okay, my sandwich costs 24 billion whatevers.
Yes.
So I could see if Bitcoin is equal across everything, that would sort of hopefully help with some
like a global.
It's a global currency.
Yes.
So I see, if that's the future, I see the value in that, and I could see investing in that. So, I if I got in, I'm gonna be like, it's mostly when I go to the casino. Here's $100, and I'm playing with this. Already in my head, it's out of my wallet. I'm not getting this back.
And for what we're talking about is not actual, because a lot of the podcasts I was listening to was like actually like using the shit like as currency.
Oh, it doesn't seem. I've seen it before, like a couple, like a cab or something was like, oh, we take Bitcoin like as a joke.
Yeah.
And imagine 5 years, you're like, oh, I got a couple of these, and you just use it in a cab, and now it's like, it was $1 million cab ride or something, right? Now that would be. It seems like I don't know what you were listening to, but it seems like we're many years from that, a decade or 5 years or something.
And that's what they were. The podcast actually I listened to a couple different ones, and they were saying that's kind of it's new, so it's up and down. The blockchain, which is basically the ledger, right?
Okay.
That does all the transactions. That still needs. They need to fine tune it, I guess. But that's probably the biggest draw, especially if I'm reading here. So let me read a little clip here.
Okay.
The blockchain is used to store an online ledger of all transactions that have been conducted using Bitcoins, providing a data structure for this ledger that is exposed to a limited threat from hackers and can be copied across all computers running Bitcoin software. Many experts see the blockchain as having important uses in technology, such as online voting, crowdfunding, and major financial institutions such as JP Morgan Chase see potential in cryptocurrencies to lower transaction costs by making payment processing more efficient. So that's the biggest sustainability, I think. That's the biggest kind of keeping it afloat, because it has a lot of negative, with the
volatility of it.
It's you really can't see who's doing what, so it's kind of there's a whole dark aspect
that scares
to it.
People. I mean,
the future would be on the genius of the blockchain and how it's.
And the voting thing is interesting too, because if you sort of translated that sort of technology to voting, to where I have my unique ID that it texts me a day before and it can't be spoofed or whatever, then that would be a way to securely vote online. Now that kind of shit seems really interesting. So do you foresee yourself getting in, Cerny? And do you believe these? Well, do you foresee yourself getting in?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I think if I do, it wouldn't be on.
It'll be with some funny money.
It'd be some funny money, and it might be one of the smaller currencies.
So you try to hit at a.
If
you
I'm
want to
playing
get
with
in
funny
at
money,
$1,
then I'll try to do the penny
and ride
stock
it up
thing.
to 7,000 or
so
whatever.
I get Bitcoin is the originator, and it probably has, in reality, it probably has the best chance to survive the sustainability. And I'm not saying I'm going to pick, Joe Blow's fucking coin or whatever, but I'll go on a different one that's could have some life, like a new Litecoin or Ripple or whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple ones that people are definitely watching, and I mean, if you really get into this, there's a whole world to be unearthed about this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably will get in at some point. I'll probably
Some
throw
point.
$100 in there and just fuck around with it.
Let it ride.
Yeah. I don't know when I'm seeing these articles that Bitcoin's at 15. Let's say it's at 15,000 right now. They're like, oh, it'll be at 5 million and this, or it'll be here. And I'm
And
like,
it's not. You know, and I was one of the podcasts I listened to was like, you know, it really can't. With cryptocurrency, you really can't expect it to continually grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow forever. Which is not just cryptocurrency, pal. It's
Right, yeah.
it's anything.
All right.
So I think in at least in my mind, the big money in Bitcoin is we missed the boat. What say you?
Oh yeah.
We missed the boat.
I mean, no offense to Dana and Joe, if they're in it thinking that they're going to ride this ship they got in at literally, at least from the point now of the fever pitch.
Oh yeah.
You're not, the ship has reached its peak and it's already corrected down. You know, overnight it lost like 30% or something.
Oh.
So right now, actually, the market cap is 230 billion. It's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money.
300,000 daily transaction, and there's 16.8 million bitcoins out, I guess.
Wow.
Now,
wasn't it?
I'm looking at the price here. I mean, 2,000. Oh, let's extend this lens.
Wasn't there was a problem? Wasn't there with the what do they call it, mining? You know, like the coin mining.
Yeah. So how does that work?
I don't quite.
Like, how do they get produced?
I don't know.
Because I remember in the OG days, I used to work with a guy in like 2013 when Bitcoin was like a couple $100, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have a miner going looking for some," and he like gave one of my friends. He's like, "Oh, try it out. Here's a quarter of a Bitcoin," and my friend looked, and he's like, "That shit's worth $500," and he sold it. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
That genuinely scared me. I wasn't ready.
I think it's been
I
loud.
wasn't ready for it. So back in 2009, Bitcoin was $25. Then it definitely took a blip around 2013 up to 700 or $1,000.
Wow.
Corrected, chilled out around 300-400 for the next couple of years from 2015 to 2016, and then 2017 it started climbing, and then it fucking took off like a rocket ship. Topped out above 18,000. We're looking at almost $20,000.
Wow. What's it right now currently?
For less than 14.
Okay.
So it's corrected, like, you know,
That's much.
if you look at the graph, it goes hockey stick correction, and it appears to be in some sort of free fall right now. But
I think with the let me look it up with the. I think it has to do with the South Korean.
Oh, really?
government.
Yeah. So at the high point, 19,000, and then that was on the 12/16, 2017, and 12/23 it hit 14,000. So it corrected $5,000. You know, so I mean, if you bought in, you wanted to buy in at obviously with the lowest point you could, but it just really jumped up there.
So
it's correcting, it appears right now, but I don't know where it's going to land. They say, I don't believe the forecast when they go, oh, it's going to be 50,000 or 200,000 or $1 million.
No, I think
don't think
that's
true.
people. Well, because it's so it's not regulated, right? So people can artificially increase the price by trading it back and forth, and then you have these people pumping it up, kind of like a penny stock. You're pumping it up like this is going to be it. This is so then people buy into it, inflates it, and then they have a big stake in it and they sell it,
and then it comes crashing down. And
so
then there's nothing to protect.
So a lot of the Bitcoin, South Korean government announced, which is on December 28th, a new cryptocurrency regulation, which led to 12% and 8% drop in Bitcoin and Ethereum, respectively. After the U.S. and Japan, South Korea is the world's third largest market for cryptocurrencies. So it says beginning in January, anonymous cryptocurrencies will no longer be allowed under the new legislation and regulators will continuously monitor cryptocurrency exchange going forward. In a statement, the government said cryptocurrency speculation has been irrationally overheated in Korea. The government can't let this abnormal situation of speculation go any longer.
Huh.
So I guess you can't use it.
Now, a common thing I hear about that's one thing. You can't really use it. And I think the way Bitcoin is going to fail is people trying to make that quick buck out of it and ride it out.
Like
when
the
people start jumping
mortgages.
ship-
They're
yeah.
going to flip it, basically.
So I guess there's only a certain unlimited quantity of them. And once people start bailing on it, then it will...
Kind of like the mortgage securities. I was hearing a lot of it's really heavily based on the Asian markets.
Oh.
I was like, ooh, that's those are volatile in itself.
Well, again, not a financial advisor. My sort of general take on finances is diverse portfolio.
Yeah, you can have a little bit in there, I guess. But
so if your total investment is, let's just say 100,000, I would say maybe
2%,
10,000,
1%.
Yeah, 10%, 15, maybe if you want to be really crazy. And
depends on where you are in your life
risk
as well.
That's true. Are you
If
22 years old?
Go for it.
Go for it.
If you're
65,
no.
fucking bonds, baby.
T-bills, baby, T-bills.
Gold. I think that is funny that people go
Stock and railroad.
right. Buy Cerny, you have a chance to get in. This is Chip's ground floor opportunity. Railroad stakes. I'm gonna make a railroad tie company.
Put a little bit on Broadway and Park.
Park
Place.
So again, we'll probably follow up here in another month or two on this and see where everyone's at. But
So here's
will
CERN's
be
prediction.
invested,
So
yeah.
we're gonna say CERN's not gonna do it yet. I still have to ponder it.
What do you give it? 6 months? Yeah, you'll be in.
Possibly.
Is this gonna be a Pokemon Go situation where you're late to the party?
No, here's what's gonna happen. We're not gonna get in,
And it's
gonna
gonna
just
fucking
boom,
erupt.
We'd have been millionaires.
I know.
Fucking Joe and Dana are living in like fat cats in
Yeah.
the fucking mansions, and we're still doing our podcast
They'll
with no
pay us.
sponsors.
Yeah. Hey, Joe and Dana,
Do you mind sponsoring the Chip and Cern Show?
could we get $100 for a new mic? Like, hold on. Let's go back to the 100 episodes where you just shit on me. Okay, that's a good point, Joe.
Okay.
By the way, have I told you how thin you're looking lately?
Okay.
Anyway,
Your choice of beer is exquisitely.
Yeah.
It's like the champagne of beers. But
I
it's-
gave away Coors Light, by the way. But anyway,
and summer solstice.
I did. I bamboozled somebody with it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I wasn't biting last time.
No.
Like Rob was like, he says take that. Nope. We tried that on a
I'm
cast.
No fool.
We tried that on a cast live, and it was just it was.
I'm no fool. So Chip says he will be invested in some sort of cryptocurrency probably in a month.
Okay, I'll be in with you. Let me know where you're at.
I'll throw in $100.
Okay.
So
We'll put our heads together, possibly form a thought, and then we'll
doubtful.
we'll get sidetracked.
And then so that'll be Tony, Joe, and Dana. Dana, they would be in the.
I don't know if I'm going to get in with the same ones as they are.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to do my own.
We're about the research.
My own reconnaissance. But I think it'll be fun. And would you be in? I think for the first 100, I kind of would be. I don't know. Tony said, "Oh, it's fun to sort of trade it around and stuff."
I don't know how you do it, so I'd have to learn.
Yeah,
on how to do that.
but
as well.
it is frightening to get any significant amount of money. I feel the need to like pull back on it a little bit.
I think
I'm too conservative.
So let's just say we put $100 and like it spikes to it like 1,000. I'm like, cash,
900.
cash.
Let me get for sure. And then that's where Dana and Joe are different. They're gonna say, "Well, can I turn this 1,000 into 10,000?"
Yeah,
And
Chip
that's
Cern
I
be
guess
like,
that's how you make money.
True.
But
Chip and Cern be like, we're getting a new soundboard.
yeah, new mics, camera that works. So yeah, please, I have to assume of our listeners, there's somebody that is in cryptocurrencies.
Let us know where you're at. I'm interested if anybody,
And if there's any, where you're at, what you're invested in.
what's your philosophy behind
portfolio?
it?
Yes. Do
Why did
share.
you pick it? Where do you see it going?
And how active are you at trading?
Yeah.
Or is it every day you're looking and I got a beat on Ripple or whatever? I'm just saying that because I only know that's one of the other ones that I know.
Ethereum.
Yeah.
Litecoin, Bitcoin.
Unobtainium. And what?
What movie is that from? I need to know.
Avatar.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Unobtainium. Is that a real?
It is actually real
Okay,
on the periodic table.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard, I was like, no,
I'm like,
no,
come on.
I was booing.
I know.
But come on, James, can be better than that. Anyway,
Izzy.
so anyway,
Give us the down low
let
on
us
your
know.
crypto.
Just let us know. You can reach out to us on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, Instagram. If you don't want it to be public, you can either DM us, slide into our DM, or you can email us.
If it's a good tip and you got the inside track to the winning horse, DM, please. We don't
DM.
need to.
Yeah, we don't.
Actually, we don't. Not that.
Or if you want to just, okay, here's what you do.
Yeah.
You DM us, give us a chance to get in, and then you send it to us.
Then we'll
pump it up.
We'll pump it with you.
We'll pump it up with our many followers.
Yeah. Hashtag pod and family. We'll pump it up and then we'll jump out. We'll parachute out at the same time.
Just let us know when we're all going to sell.
Yeah.
We'll be in it together. Or you can email us at chipandcernshow@gmail.com.
And also, what's a good exchange to get on?
Oh, yes.
Coinbase or I don't know any of the other ones. But anyway, 2018 is the year of the cryptocurrency for Chip and Cern.
Yes.
And the Earth.
Yes.
Until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.